What's up, you guys? This is Rob from The Gay Guy Plays, and today we are back with another installment of the Weekly Nightwave. Excluding the fact that there is no actual Nightwave this week. I'm sorry, my brain is still a little bit fuzzy. I had way too many carbs last night during the series finale of Game of Thrones, and I'm still kind of recovering. Regardless, I went ahead and put together a list of 5 things that you can tackle in the meantime. Now, as many of you guys know, there is going to be a little bit of a gap between Nightwave Season 1 and Nightwave Season 2, and also coming up we have the Jovian Concord to keep in mind. Now, in addition to all of that, I'm also going to have a customization you guys have been requesting a lot from me, which is the Saryn of Saturn 6, which I'll go ahead and toss towards the end of this video. However, if you're impatient, her details will be down in the description box below with all of her color codes and whatnot. Regardless, let's go ahead and take a look at all of the things that we could do in the meantime. So first things first is a little bit of a bonus for anybody who's a little bit newer and hasn't quite knocked out all of these things. Definitely make sure that you do. First things first, the Nada and Chimera quest, not Quimera, but Chimera quest, are going to be required for a couple of the features in the Jovian Concord update, which hopefully, again, will be coming up this week. DE, please save our souls. In addition to that, I also want to make sure that you guys enable 2-factor authentication because it will get you access to the Phase Step ephemera as soon as the Jovian Concord goes live. So again, I will leave all of the details for that in the description box below so that you can get yourself sorted out. Regardless, let's jump on into the first actual thing that you could possibly be doing, which is farming vaulted relics in the void. So as many of you guys know, we have Loki and Volt Prime, which are currently available and are unvaulted for the time being. This is going to end July 2nd, so you've got a little bit over a month to go ahead and grab all of this, but as I've been experiencing very painfully, RNGs can be a big bitch. So that fire feat's still not dropping for me, and I heard in the comment section from my previous video that some people are having some issues getting the relics that they want. So better to go ahead and knock it out while you have the time. However, I will say do your best to get all of your relics first, and then, you know, maybe do a couple cracking sessions, because those relics won't go away after the whole July 2nd does. But if you are planning to go ahead and crack some of those relics for a little bit of plat, maybe start saving right now, because the next thing that you should be preparing for is Nyx Deluxe. So get your plats together and get ready to prep and get your hands on the Nyx Deluxe bundle when it does come out, because it's looking quite gorgeous. So there's a couple of factors that you can go ahead and do that. Whether you have Nyx Prime or not, maybe you should go ahead and grab her, or you need to perfect your Nyx Prime build, because as you know, she has undergone a couple changes as well. Or, and this is the most important part to me, because as you guys know, I'm not necessarily the biggest Nyx player out there, maybe go ahead and start working on builds for shotguns that were too ugly for you to use. That is right, because Nyx Prime is going to be coming with a shotgun skin that so far sounds like it's going to be a universal one. So for all of the Vacor Heck users out there, for all of the Strun Wraith users, you can finally rejoice in the fact that we don't have to use an ugly fucking skin with our shotguns. So hallelujah to that. Get all of that prepped and ready to go so that when it launches, you can just be looking sexy and snazzy with the Nyx Deluxe skin that you picked up. Now, in addition to that, that kind of goes hand in hand with all of this perfecting builds and whatnot is, as always, a very, very important part, farm for Forma. So, from what we already know is with the release of the Jovian Concord, we will be getting 1 Warframe and 3 weapons. Now, if we're taking a look at maybe 3 Forma per those weapons, that brings us up to 9, and then of course a little bit of extra Forma for the Warframe itself. So I'm saying, you know, get yourself like 11 Forma stocked up, so that way you can go ahead and get all of these things ranked up and make sure that they're performing at their optimal peak per hour. Power, that's the word that I was looking for. Regardless, go ahead and grab those and make sure that you get them crafted as well, so it's not just your blueprint. So you have all of this week, well, I guess part of this week to get that done. Now, the other thing that I want to point out after you go ahead and grab your Forma, there's 1 or 2 things that you can knock out, which is focus on getting some Ayatan sculptures and stars. And I know that this seems a little bit like, but why? As many of you guys know, there are some Ayatan sculpture, what is it called? Challenges that are still going to be in the next season of Nightwave. Now, me personally, I have no issues with getting all of that, and I think that a lot of the dedicated players who are just kind of like staunchly in doing their sorties every single day and all of that kind of stuff, they've probably got Ayatan sculptures falling out of their ears. But for those of you guys who have not had that kind of experience and are really, really frustrated in not being able to get everything socketed up and ready to go, definitely go ahead and start doing some Ayatan hunts. Remember that Miss, oh god, Maru always has a quest for them, so you can do that, and sorties tend to be a good but frustrating way to get your hands on some of those Ayatan sculptures. Also, make sure that you are picking up every star that drops, even if your team is like super far behind you and they happen to pop a crate. Go ahead and do that so you don't have to worry about it in the future, or maybe farm some arbitrations and get enough of the Vitus Essence to craft yourself up some Amber Stars. So that's kind of like a precautionary ahead of time thing sitting there at number 4. And the final thing that I want to go ahead and kind of impress upon you guys is a really weird one. Okay, so there's a lot of talk about the Ropalala list, whatever it's called, being a parkour heavy fight. That is definitely one of the big focuses, but one of the things that I don't think people have really talked about too much is the potential for it to be an Archwing fight, or a fight that does require some form of Archwing kind of standing. As you guys know, this is going to require the Chimera mission, which means that you should be a little bit further in the game, and I do believe that that's past all of the Archwing kind of mission stuff. So it might be one of those things where you go into the Ropalala list fight and legitimately you're like, oh shit, I actually have to do Archwing in the middle of this. So I don't want you guys to get blindsided by that, but this is a great time if you haven't already leveled up your Archwings, or if you haven't gotten the mastery for the Archwing weapons. It's definitely the time to go ahead and jump in during this like kind of dead period to go ahead and get some of those leveled up. I know that it's not the most fun for some of you guys out there. I personally love Archwing to death, but for those of you guys who cannot stand it, this is definitely something that you should consider knocking out. In addition to this, I always say, mastery rank never matters until it does, so just in case, take this time out while you're leveling up your Archwings, or maybe you're done leveling up your Archwings. Find a couple weapons that you have not leveled up already. Me personally, I am going to try to knock out one of my K-Drive boards, because I have one at 29 and then I have to go ahead and craft another one. So it's definitely time for me to go ahead and buckle down on that and kind of finish off those 2 boards and then be done with everything in the game mastery wise at the very, very least. So knock those out, get everything that you can get done, because, you know, during the dead times, even though we can be frustrated with the lack of content, we do know that content is soon to come, so it's always great to kind of like prep for everything that is out there. So make sure you knock out these 5 things, farm the vaulted relics, prepare for Nyx Deluxe, farm for some Forma, because you're gonna need it, get yourself some Ayatan sculptures, and also, just in case, you know, do your Archwing stuff, or at least get some mastery under your belt. Alrighty, now it is officially fashion frame time, and as you can see, I have my Saryn of Saturn 6 all pulled up and ready to go, and I'm actually kind of shocked that you guys wanted this customization so bad. A lot of people have asked for it both on stream and also in the comments section. So again, like I was saying earlier, make sure to check out the description box because all of the codes are down there. But as you can see, I went with this kind of like rosy, violet-y, kind of dusty tone. I don't know what it is about Saryn, but she always evokes this feeling of violet with me. So I wanted to go ahead and kind of merge that in with the Wolf of Saturn 6 tones, which were a little bit browner and a little bit more from that Grenier palette. So that's definitely incorporated in there. And the Saturn 6 armor just fits so well. By the way, for those of you guys who don't know, I am using the Grax skin from Tenogen, and this one is by Faven. Wait, whatever happened to the _PS part of your name, huh? that kind of makes me feel betrayed. So we have the full Saturn 6 armor set on her as well, and of course we're rocking out with the Officium Cyandana, and it's still one of my favorites on Saryn, mainly because of the fact that she does have a weird back piece that can kind of lead to clipping a little bit, so I kind of like to keep it nice and tight. Plus, the Wolf of Saturn 6 kind of had some ties into the whole Corpus world, so it's like blending Arteno with the Grineer with a little bit of the Corpus stuff, and I like it a lot. So definitely check down there. Also, when we toggle the prime details, it looks really weird, so I'm super duper not into it. Just kind of leave it like that. I like her nice and sleek. Now, the other thing that I wanted to go ahead and address, because a lot of people had asked for it, and I do have a video called the Umbra Saryn build. That's what I use for like all of my well, I don't need it for focus farming, but you get a shit ton of focus from it too, so just in case you want to do that in public missions, that's what I use. But I don't think that I actually had the construction on it, so for those of you guys who are curious, I use the Jai 2 as well as the Plague Bokwin and the Plague Kiwar. The build is also tailored specifically for Saryn, so be sure to check out that video. Regardless, that about does it for me for now. Let me know if you guys have anything else that you are working on in the meantime while in between the series and also waiting for the Jovian Concord. Leave that down in the comment section below so that you guys can all kind of jive together and have a moment of seeing what everybody's doing. As many of you guys know, I'm farming the shit out of ESO because I still don't have the Blazing Step Ephemera. Some of y'all were asking me about, why is it called Fire Feet? Is that what it's called? It's not called Fire Feet. Toss that down in the comments section below. And as always, oh, and if you have any more requests for like one-off fashion frames as well, because I know some of you guys have seen me rock with some other stuff, toss that down there too, and maybe I can make a video out of it. But that about does it for me for now. So as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. You gonna need to do a lot of it as soon as you watch that season finale or the series finale, because that's the end. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.